Ed Lamb, the assistant head coach, special teams coordinator for BYU football. Ed, welcome to San Diego and BYU Sports Nation.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Glad to be visiting with you boys.
We kind of feel like your guys in the secondary, no sleeves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I was going to join you up here, and then I noticed that your arm circumference wasn't quite where it should be, and so I didn't want to embarrass you guys. I borrowed a sweatshirt.
That's very kind of you.
That was the most rational way of saying you guys aren't strong. Arm circumference.
But some people make a deliberate choice.
Yeah, the most unoffensive way.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I'm working on my core right now, not my arms, just so you know.
Large arms take a lot of food, caloric value, and you guys might just be saving food.
Caloric value.
For the winter.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it really is a pleasure to have you, Ed.
No other coach in America will bring that to the table.
The most underrated sense of humor in all of BYU football right here with Ed Lamb. By the way, Elisa Tuiaki told us a good story about eating buffalo wings, and you said, look, they've got to be spicy if you're going to eat them and you're going to be a man. They can't just be the ones that taste good. Yeah. They got to be spicy.
I was going out to get wings, and we've got our staff is full of males, adult males, and he asks for mild wings, sweet wings. And there's no way that I'm going to bring back. There's no way that I'm going to be seen in public ordering mild or sweet wings, and absolutely no way I'm going to bring that back to a defensive staff room.
I think we saw you in the parking lot that day. Do you remember that?
Did you?
You had wings in your hands. Little did we know that would be the story.
Hot wings, yeah.
Yeah. So I call him Spicy Tuiaki. He looked at me like, did you know that story? Yeah. BYU and San Diego, there's a lot of history there. I don't believe you played in a bowl game in San Diego, but on that 96 team, you did play Wyoming.
That's correct,
in 96. So what is it like 20 years later to be a part of just the second other neutral game with the Cowboys?
Yeah, I mentioned to somebody the other day, I look sometimes at the scores. We played 15 games that year, my senior year, and so there were a lot of them, and there were several games where I can't remember whether it was home or away, and I don't remember much about the game. But for some reason, that Wyoming game, probably in part because it was for the championship, but it had a certain flavor that's lasted, and I can remember the visual of the stadium and what it was like, and the fact that it was a sellout crowd and split fairly equally, if not favoring Wyoming. So they traveled really well. It was a big game for them, big game for us, and to win that championship was special.
Ed Lamb with us on BYU Sports Nation. The Cougars trying to end a 3-game bowl losing streak. We just got Tom Holmoe's opinion and Elisa Tuiaki's opinion about an hour ago on what a bowl game win means. In your mind, what does a bowl game win mean for the future of the program?
Oh, for the future? Yeah, that's a good question. I think primarily what it means for me is sending off the current seniors, right, in their final game together and their final opportunity to play with this staff and with their teammates for this year. And so that's my primary focus. But I do think that a season-ending victory, whether it be regular season or postseason, is always good momentum for the offseason. And particularly if some guys can increase their role. You know, we have a longer break than we normally have, and it's an opportunity for some guys to kind of relearn the system. And we have all of our players here. So hopefully there's a couple of guys, a handful of guys that play a larger role in this game than they did during the regular season, and preferably young guys that can build on that momentum.
Ed, has the heavy lifting and preparation on this game already been done so that you can enjoy San Diego a little more, or are you still doing some of that here?
It is, and that's week to week too. You know, always the way we do it in most places that I've been is I think you want to put in most of the preparation from day one, and so the first time you start practicing for an opponent, whether from school to school it might vary, but maybe that's Monday or Tuesday, but you want to kind of get 90% of the game plan in right away, and so by necessity that for us happened a couple of weeks ago.
Wyoming knows that BYU would like to run the ball because that's where Jamaal Williams is, that's where you have succeeded. Ty Detmer wants balance, and so they're going to defensively game plan to stop the BYU run. How do you find success against a team that's all in on stopping Jamaal Williams and the BYU run?
Yeah, I think that Ty's the expert on that, but I would just in general, if somebody's going to go all out to stop the run, then the play action passes will be there, but you've got to keep setting that up. And so the more successful the run game can be, even into that aggressive front, then the more successful the play action passes can be. Get some one-on-one matchups down the field.
What do you think of this matchup with Wyoming? It's been a while since BYU's played them. They've had a good season. They're a hungry team coming into a bowl game for the first time in a while.
Yeah, that's the thing our players better understand is Wyoming. When Wyoming thinks BYU, they know they're the underdog. They read the newspapers, but also just the history of BYU exiting the Mountain West Conference and kind of, in the way they see that, right? It's going to be probably different than our narrative would be and our reasons for being playing football at the independent level. So they're gonna have a lot of motivation to beat BYU. It always has been that way. It was that way 20-something years ago when I was a player. Wyoming, that's always a big, huge game for Wyoming, and we've got to match that intensity.
Yeah, Wyoming fans, I saw some bloggers talking about the fact that they always called BYU a bowl game. Well, now the bowl game is happening in an actual bowl game, and the Cougars have won 7 in a row against Wyoming, which I think makes this game fun and intriguing. The more animosity, I don't know, maybe that's the wrong word, that they have towards BYU, I think it just adds to the intrigue of this game.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We want that. We want that passion from the opponent. We want to bring that passion ourselves, find reasons to get more excited about the game that we're playing than the game that we played last week and the game that we'll play next week or next year. And I think we have that. It's always hard for a coach to know exactly what the team is feeling, if there's such a thing as 120-something guys feeling the same thing. But I know as a coach, I'm really excited about the game, and as a BYU fan, I'm really excited about the game, and I hope our players are considering it for what it's worth.
Kalani Sitake spent a considerable amount of time up at Utah, where they've been really good at winning bowl games. What kind of approach have you seen him take now that it's his turn to kind of do a bowl game like he wants to do it?
Yeah. The thing that Kalani's done such a great job of in his first year as a head coach, which I think is really hard, I know from experience that can be really hard, is he's been himself. He's confident. He's relaxed around the players. They sense that from him. There's not in any way a lack of demanding culture or lack of discipline. It's not about that. That doesn't come from being a hard A as a coach or just being a growler or a browbeater or anything like that. Discipline comes from the players wanting to buy into the team vision, right? And our team vision is as clean and disciplined and competitive as any team vision. But Kalani does it in a relaxed way that instills confidence in the people around him, coaches and players, and he's done it that way all season long through thick and thin. That's our culture, and I think that's where our players are at.
Special teams has been a consistent bright spot for BYU. We had Johnny Linhound on the show earlier, and he called it consistent confidence when it comes to special teams. How do you develop that type of feeling and confidence in an entire unit?
Oh, that's easy. Yeah. So you want to on your own 2-yard line, 4th and 19. You just want to go show that confidence and call for a fake punt, and that will transcend throughout the season and the seasons. They will never doubt my confidence in them.
Well said, Coach. I didn't think you were going to take it that direction, but hey,
okay, yeah,
we didn't expect the run on 4th and 19 either, did we?
Yep, that's right. Nobody expects it.
Coach, it's great to have you. We jokingly call you the cyborg, but really we know you're a softie. You're a softie inside, right, Coach?
I am for the success of the players, all that they go through, all the pressures in their lives, and to see them succeed at whatever point that is, young in their career or as they progress. It's for me that is definitely a soft spot. I'm emotional about their success.